Alright, I want to do a quick video update on the QA-1 suspension install on a 62 C-10. So this kit was made for 63 to, I believe, 87 C-10s. And you know me, I was like, well, surely it'll fit a 62, right? Because I know that people have taken the suspension from the 70s trucks and made them fit on here, so you know, I figured, why wouldn't this fit? So I got it. It came in last week, and it didn't have all the parts and pieces. It didn't have the upper coil spring or the upper control arms or a couple other parts and pieces. It came in 5 big boxes, and I only got 4 the first day, which is kind of surprising because they all came from the Summit warehouse in Ohio. So I don't know how they came at different days, but anyway, so I set the K member under there, and the instructions say to use this bolt right here to go to the center bolt in the frame rail. So if you come over to the 70 C-10 here, you can see how it has the 3 bolts right here. So you got 1, 2, 3. So you use this center bolt right here to line up the K member, and then you just basically drill the rest of the holes to make it fit. Well, if you look at how this frame is, it's like C-channel, and if you look at the 62, the frame is boxed on the front part. So all of mine is boxed, and I assume that's because of because it was torsion bar. So what I had to end up doing was cutting this top piece out and basically raising it up this much to get this bracket to fit in through the back side of the frame, and then for this coilover bracket to bolt on there. So in order for all this to tie together, I had to increase the height of this, and then plus this where it's rolled over right here, that it wouldn't allow this bracket to go through, so I had to trim that out to get that to go through. So then this goes through, so that is your upper control arm bolt, and that is your upper control arm bolt. And then these 2 right here are for your coil over bracket, and then you have the 2 that come down under here, and then this comes back and ties in to the K member here. And then this is their motor mounts, which the kit does not come with motor mounts. I don't know why I thought it did, but I guess because it showed the pictures and was in the instructions, but it does not come with motor mounts. It comes with the polyurethane bushings and the tube, but it doesn't come with any of the parts or pieces that bolt to the block, or it ties it back into here. It also does not come with any of the steering components, so I had to order a couple more of these joints to try to figure out how this is going to go, because I have no idea how this is going to work out. So they say this goes here, and then you come up, and then basically there's going to be 2 more joints to get back to the steering column up here. So I have no idea how that's going to work out, or if it's going to work. So hopefully I can figure out something. I may have to do a double joint here, but it did come with a little bracket that has a heim joint for the rod to go through, because when you have more than 2 joints there, you have to have a brace, otherwise the whole thing will move. But then, you know, all this is my diagonal, since I'm running the motor plate, and it's looking like that's probably going to be in the way, so I'm probably going to have to cut that off, relocate that, Hopefully the motor plate's gonna clear. It's just part of it, So, but anyway, after you cut and weld and change everything around, it does bolt in to a 1962 truck. And again, I don't know if I said, but this is a Dodge Dakota steering rack, and it's a weird, I don't know why they put it at that angle. You figure they could have laid it over or something and have it, pointed more towards the steering shaft, but I don't know, they know more than I do. But so again, we had to change the spindles. I was hoping to run the 62 spindles because, again, everything from 62 to 87 has to be the same, right? So I don't know if they would have fit, but I had these and that's what it called for. And I bought the rotors, new calipers and pads and everything. And it's set up with this style for the tie rod ends and everything. And then when you run this, you have to run an 18-inch or larger wheel on the front. And you can remove this and move this up, and then it'll run a 15. But they say, I guess it has issues with bumps here or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm going to run at least an 18-inch wheel on the front, so I want to have that on there. The other thing is it'll put me in a 5-on-5 bolt pattern on the front, and also these rotors are, I believe they're about a 1-inch diameter larger than what I had, so that kind of helps. And then this bracket and all is integral to the spindle, whereas the other spindle, the 62, had a piece that bolted on from the back for your steering arm here. So I assume this is probably a lighter spindle anyway. The coilovers are adjustable. You have 3 holes right here. I'm running it in the middle hole. It has a limiting strap on it, a limiting cable. So I've got the coil spring all the way at the bottom, and in the middle hole, I don't have any 5x5 wheels here to set it down and see what it looks like. In my haste of ordering all the brake parts, I forgot the inner wheel bearing seal. I don't know how I forgot that, but I ordered the rotor, the bearings, the dust cap, calipers, pads, and everything, and daggum Rock Auto, trying to get all of them to ship from the same location so I don't get charged shipping 4 times. And I think it still ended up charging me $60 shipping for the brake parts of the front. So I don't know, Rock Auto, the parts are cheap, but then when you go to shipping, I just feel like they're getting you over on the shipping. So anyway, I had this nut. I had the nuts in the cart, and then it showed when I was ordering everything, it showed the little truck by everything, so showed it was shipping all out of the same warehouse. Then when I go to check out, it shows that it's coming from 2 separate warehouses. So I went back through and tried to make sure all of them were coming out of the same warehouse, and then somehow I didn't get the spindle nuts and the seals. I missed the seals completely. I didn't even think about those. So I had to order all that stuff. So it should be on the way. And then I got a couple of the U-joints, or the steering joints there, to try to figure that out. I really am disappointed that I didn't get the engine and transmission in by now. This turned out to be way more than I anticipated. But I guess when you have to kind of cut everything up and figure it all out from scratch, it takes time. So, but anyway, I don't want to rush it. I am in a time crunch, but I do want it to be, where it's something I can hop in and drive and not have to worry about, just not having everything just how I want it. But that being said, I do want to get it to where I can drive it to Daytona. So here's some more of the brake parts and everything, the hoses. Actually the hoses, I figured, great, these things are going to have a different fitting on there, and I'm going to have to redo all that. But surprisingly, they had the same fitting there. I got the dust caps and the inner and outer bearings and everything. I actually got a brake kit, which I never normally get stuff like that. But got new banjo bolts and everything. And I think there was a core charge on the calipers there, but they probably got to pay return shipping, and it's probably not worth it. But the other thing is these are actually 1/2x20 bolts, lugs, which I was very surprised by, because I know the Chevrolet cars are 7/16 something, so I didn't think about that till a minute ago, and I tried it, and it actually is 1/2x20, which is what I prefer. So I guess I'm going to have 5x5 on the front, and then 5 on 4.5 in the rear, because I did not think about it. But if I were to re-drill this pattern, you got the hole right there, so you can get to the axle nuts there. So, you'd have one there, you'd have every space, and then that would be an opening, so you'd miss one. So I guess I'm just going to do 5 on 4.5 on the back, and then 5 on 5 on the front, and then just roll with it, because I'm not ordering new axles, and I don't know how I guess you could re-drill it and not have that one, or I don't know. I really don't want to mess with it, and if I can get a wheel in the right size and back spacing, I'll just leave it. Again, I ran this rear end because it had 31 spline axles, and it being able to accept the 9-inch center housing, you can, the 9-inch is the LS of rear ends. Every hot rod and everything, not every hot rod, but the 9-inch is the most popular rear end historically. I don't know. I get maybe the 8.8 is more popular nowadays, but typically you can find 9-inch parts everywhere. But as you can see, we've got a lot of boxes. Been ordering stuff like crazy, and that's just from this week, I think, or this last week. All the suspension parts and the cylinder heads and just all the parts I've ordered to try to get this thing together. And I still got I got to do the sending unit and the fill neck. I don't know if I mentioned, but I think I'm going to try to do the fill neck behind the tag, have the fold down tag, and do that way, because again, you had to cut a lot of the inner structure out to get it up to the tail light, and that's just, I don't want to cut that much out of the bed. So I think it'd be simple, and plus Chevrolet used to do it that way, where you just flip down the tag and fill it up. And then the other thing with that is when you pull it to the gas pump, it doesn't matter which side you're on with the pump, because you can fill it up from the middle. When I was a teenager, I had a 66 Mustang, and that was one thing I liked about it, is it didn't matter which side of the pump you pulled up on, you could put gas in it, because it was right there in the center of the car. So it's coming along. Like I say, the front suspension really kind of slowed me down as far as progress, I feel. But now it's done, it's on there, it's quite an improvement for the truck. And I'm gonna keep working, and I've ordered everything I think I need, so hopefully that'll come in this week. And then this weekend I got a 4-day weekend, so I'm hoping to get a lot done in that. So hopefully I don't lose a limb or injure myself trying to get this thing done, because I'm running out of digits. So anyway, that's the update for now.